I am a graduate of accounting from Covenant University, and I traveled abroad for my master's in England. I have a master's in international business management, and I also have an ACCA certification. My father sent me abroad to become an accountant because my dad is an accountant, and he wanted me to be chartered. Whilst I was there, he kept sending me links for job employment, Chevron, different companies, even abroad. Whilst I was studying, I was a personal shopper. I used to shop for people back home in Nigeria. Some stores you see in Warri, I started most of the stores for them because then I always buy Zara clothes, different clothes, shop and send back home. That was my side hustle. I also had this thing for fashion. It was a thing at the time. I had a tailor in Nigeria who always make Ankara dresses for me, send it over, I will sell it. I was so much of a personal shopper then that in class, during my master's classes, there's always a box at the back of the class. After class, I would go, take the box, shop, take it back home and all of that. Every time they have to talk about an international business in my class, they'll always because then it was Shop with AMY, that was my business at the time. They'll always use my business as the example. So it came to the time when I was done with my master's and it was time for me to come back home. I didn't want to come back. And I spoke to my parents. We tried everything possible for me to stay back abroad, but it wasn't forthcoming. And I called a friend and I'm like, I'm spending so much to stay in this country. How bad is it in Nigeria? And the friend said, Amy, just take a box. You don't even have to, don't think about it as relocation. Just take a box and come back home. If you feel like you're not satisfied with Nigeria, then you can return back if you can. So I just took a box. I called my parents and I said, you know what, I'm coming back. My dad said, are you sure? Is that what you want? Okay, so what company are you going to? I said, I don't know. I do not know. So I came back to Warri, to be precise, with no plan. Because normally, if you travel for masters, if you're coming back home, you need to come with a plan. I mean, you can't come back to Nigeria and be jobless. But I came back with no plan. I came back with just a few money I had in my account from my personal shopping business. And I came to Warri. I also never really wanted to work in any company. I never saw myself doing that. Even though my parents kept sending me links to apply for jobs in the bank and all of that, I never did that. But I know that my 6 years of being abroad, I had a picture on my wall. It was a Dorothy Perkins picture of a store. I knew that I would always want to own a store with everything in the store in my name. But I didn't know how. I just had that picture on my wall. So when I came back to Nigeria with no plan, nothing, I decided to continue my personal shopping. So what I was doing was reaching out to people that already had stores here, buying things for them. So I wanted a space for that business. I was looking for stores in Warri. I wasn't getting the one in my budget. I wasn't just seeing anything. My mom would drive around with me. We didn't find any. So my dad has an hotel. So I pleaded with him. I was like, Daddy, okay, please, can I use this space just by this corner in your hotel to just start my business? My father was not really happy. He felt like he had spent so much money on my education for me to come back and want to start selling clothes. Do you get? So he wasn't really happy. He just said, okay. And this space I'm talking about is just a space, no building. So I started building. When I say build, not something big, I just needed to build a space where I could set up something. I thought it was something I could handle with the small finances that I have, bearing in mind that my father was not going to be a party to it. So I started buying blocks and all that. Every day I come, the building is still there, it's not moving. I have customers who are messaging me, please, where can we pick up? Where is the pickup point? I don't have a pickup point and all of that. There was a day I came and then the people working inside saying, Madam, the sun not reach you, the block not reach you. And my father was there, my mother was there. I started crying. And like crying because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the money. My father just removed his face. My mom said, what do we do? She gave me small money. It wasn't still enough, but I built it. And it was beautiful. And I can even say, at the time, I feel like, because it was in my dad's hotel premises, I feel like it was even finer than his hotel, the interior. I will tell you for free, even if he does not agree. Anyway, so I did that and I opened it. And it was mainly to sell clothes of other brands. At this time, it wasn't my brand. I was buying clothes from other people, other brands, and then selling. And then I wore an outfit to a friend's wedding, and the friend said, please, this thing you wore, please, I would like you to make it for me. And I'm like, make it for you. So I made it for her. And then she got engaged and she made me make a reception dress. It was like a joke because this was not the plan. That was not what I wanted to do. But I made the dress. And after I made the dress, everybody started reaching out to me to make dresses for them in Warri. And at this point, I knew that I had to put my name on it, not any other person's name. It was in a small corner in my dad's hotel, remember? But I had a goal and I had a vision. I knew that there was a certain standard that I wanted, and I was ready to give value for that standard, regardless of the city I was in. So, as at the time, I was making dresses for like 80K, 90K, 100K, and then it was a big deal. People make dresses for 20K, 15K at that time, but I was doing it for that price, and I was set at giving a certain value, emphasis on value for that amount. I had clients who would say, or friends who would even say to me then that, in this Warri, you want to come and be selling clothes 100K, it's not possible, you go pursue, you come out, and all those things. But I also had people who were willing to pay for that value, and I was focused on those people. Gradually, I started becoming popular. I don't know how, but I started making dresses for almost everybody in the city. And then, because it was my dad's compound, a hotel, you see like big cars would drive in from Ugeli, from Benin. Big cars would drive in, some with escorts. And you think that they're going to see my dad, and they're going to my corner. And my dad is just sat there. He will even stand up sometimes thinking, it's his visitors. And they say, oh, no, they're coming here. And he will look at me, he will not say anything. He would continue what he's doing. There was a time his friend, I think, his friend that was a politician came with his wife. He thought they were coming to see him, but they were coming to meet me. And in my heart, I just felt this joy. Even though every night my dad would still check for vacancies in companies to share with me for me to employ, he was still not convinced. So I kept pushing. I kept pushing. I kept doing what I had to do. Then I realized that in the city of Warri, it was becoming too small for me, and I felt like I had no competition. I'm not apologizing for that, but it felt like there was nothing pushing me. I was just feeling like a queen in the city and nobody to even make you stand firm. So I said, you know what? Everybody has been saying, why don't you come to Lagos? What you are doing in Warri, you can do it in Lagos and you make more money. People kept saying that to me, my friends in Lagos, but I was scared. I was afraid. Where do I start from? Do you understand? How do I get the money and all that? So I took a trip to Lagos one time. I said, what does it even cost to just find out? What does it cost to find out how much this shop rent is? So I went to Lagos. I went to check for stores, and they told me the rent. It was big money. I didn't even have it. So I spoke to a friend who already told me before then that she wants to start up a business and all of that. I said, okay, you know what? I found a shop in Lagos, and I want to set up a store. But since you want something, you want to start a business, why don't we share this space together? You sell fabrics and I make the dresses, right, in the same space. And she was okay. She agreed to it and all of that. But on the day we're supposed to make the payments, she came up with the idea of, why don't we partner in AMY AGHOMI, not just the space. She wanted shares in my business, but I wasn't okay with that because I felt like I'd put in so much years for me to do that. The provision came. I paid for the rent of the store by myself, and I continued my business. When I was in Warri, I kept reaching out to a lot of influencers because there was this hunger and there was this thirst that I had in me. I wanted more. I wasn't just okay. So I kept reaching out to a lot of influencers and celebrities from Warri. Oh, hi, I have this collection. I would like you to wear it. I don't mind flying to Lagos and all of that. They all did not respond to me, not a single one. But when I got into Lagos, because I was very focused and I was very determined by making it in the city of Lagos, I reached out to one of them and I paid them. I said, you know what, rather than have you not reply me, I reached out to the management and I paid that influencer to wear my dress just for visibility. Again, I remember that it was big money, but I paid. I did the advertisements with this influencer, and I started getting every influencer in my DM saying, hi, I just saw your page, you do amazing work, can we do this together, even the people I had messaged years ago started sending me messages, and then they will see my old messages, say, they didn't see it. At this point, I'm telling you, I'm so sorry I didn't see it, can we work together now? I had messages like that. At this point, it was now me to select who I wanted to work with. Whilst I was in Lagos, I positioned myself in a way that I was willing to learn from the system, learn from how they hustle, learn from their growth pattern. It was just my core, my first year in Lagos. I made money, I lost money, but I was learning and I was consistent. First year, second year, my second year in Lagos, it was like I'd been in Lagos for 10 years. Everybody wanted to work with me. I had clients and it was even getting to me. I'm not even going to lie. But one thing I will tell you, I didn't get there because I was so good. Yes, you can be so good, but you need to put in the work. My determination was 100%. My effort was also there. My consistency was also there. Second year, I was doing great. Third year, I was doing great. And then my fourth year in Lagos, the brand has grown to a level where I can decide to select the kind of clients I want to work with. I can decide to pick the celebrities I want to work with. Things started happening. I was making a lot of money, but my business was failing. I didn't even know my business was failing because sometimes it's not about the business having a lot of money. It's about how you have positioned your business and how people perceive the brand. I will tell you for free, I was failing, but I thought I was actually prospering until it took a client for me to take some steps backward to realize that I needed to put in a proper structure in my business for me to maintain the standard and the level that I had attained. I will tell you for free, it's important that whilst you are persistent, whilst you are consistent, whilst you have the drive, it is also important that you satisfy your clients in the manner at which you ought to satisfy each client. This was what I was lacking at some point. So I don't want to be here to tell you that it was all sweet and rosy. Yeah, I was making a lot of money, but at the same time, there was a part of the business that was suffering. And it took a client to bring it to my notice for me to be able to restructure and put things together. I will gladly say for a fact that God has been faithful. I did whatever I did afraid. I mean, you can't just wake up one morning and say you want to move from Lagos or you want to expand into different states. As I'm talking to you, I have 3 shops in Lagos. I have a ready-to-wear shop. I have a factory. I have my showroom. And this is in the space of 3-4. And I believe that if I can do it, any other person here can do it. Trust me, I came from a very good background, but I wouldn't say that the success of AMY AGHOMI is tied to my parents' money or any funding. I believe that as long as you are determined, I did not wake up one morning and just grow from A to Z. It will take time, it will take process, but again, you need to put in work, you need to push in. I dare you to dream. You need to dream. I dare you to be consistent. Sometimes having faith is a dare to yourself. Do you have the faith? Do you believe that you can move from one point to the other point? You need to first believe. You need to trust the process. You need to continuously work on yourself, improve on your crafts, and the stage is yours. That's what I would say to you. So I would encourage everyone here, be steadfast, be consistent in what you do, keep pushing. I'm not going to lie to you. I have brands who reach out to me and I say, oh, okay, for me to just appear, I'm going to pay this amount. I never saw that coming. I wouldn't say I planned for it, but I know that I kept pushing. I wasn't satisfied with where I was. I wanted more. You need to have that thirst. You need to want to do more. You can be in this city. Trust me, you can be in this city and do great things. You don't necessarily have to move out of Warri to be a king or a giant where you are. So I will tell you something. When I left Warri, I didn't even leave. My store is still in Warri. I have a few clients that I service in Warri. But when I got to Lagos, I saw money, like the amount I was paid whilst I was in Warri and the amount they pay me is way apart. I can't even compare. It's way apart. But guess what? So I focused on my clients there, and then the few that could pay for my service in Warri. But do you know, whilst I left, there were some kings and some queens who stayed, who built the city to a point where I now want to come and reopen my store because there are some people that stayed back in the city to ensure that the services that they wanted to render, there were people that they provide. they got people to provide the service, to pay for the service. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to live where you are or live worry to make it big, because guess what? I'm also coming back to reopen my store. So I hope that my story has inspired someone. I hope that you are able to push yourself. I hope that you are able to dare to just say, you know what, I'm not giving up no matter what. Amy did not give up. I came back to this country with nothing, right? But I was able to push through. So what's stopping you? Nothing, actually. Thank you very, very much.